every time she's come down here, I thought she's done particularly well. And from the observations from the African Championship, you clearly see that her movement has improved a lot. Her posting is a lot better. She offers a better movement and options to the rest of the team to try and find her. And I thought that was quite key in the Ukraine's pursuit of the title. Eventually they won it, and unfortunately there was no MVP award, but it should obviously have gone to Christos Provian.
Winning his first Uganda Open was a success story of many people wanted to see. That winning putt on the final day, the putts he pulled off, the 2-meter putts, 3-meter putts, the way he was chipping, he was like a godsend. And you can't take that away from Ronald Rugumayo. He'd been a no-show, a nearly man. People attacked him as to be the pretender of golf for 4 years, making the playoff stages and being a no-show on the final day, the way he was collapsing, but he rose the ranks, won the Open, and then went on to captain the national team. His dream as an amateur is done and complete. Easiest day out for him now, turn pro.
My 2017 was a very nice year. In May, I had to fly to Greece in Santorini, and I had to have this fight with a lady called Abdallah and Katerina Abdallah, and it was second time to defend my international title, of which I had to fight with her all the 5 rounds, and at the end of it all, I was able to win. A week later, actually like 5 days later on, I had again to come and fight with Karina. She's from Austria, and I had to come and fight to defend my intercontinental title. Everything about year 17 was really good.
The term safe hands is used very, very loosely, but I think in the case of Dennis Onyango, I think he's proved beyond reasonable doubt that he's a safe pair of hands for the Uganda Cranes. He's the last line of defense and a solid one for Uganda Cranes, and I think Uganda should be privileged to have a player of his class and stature and quality in their ranks.
Such an integral part on the road to Russia, conceding only 2 goals. Consider all the goalkeepers, the top goalkeepers the world over, David De Gea, Manuel Neuer, the list goes on and on. Dennis Onyango conceding only 2 goals, the least goals in the entire campaign. Yes, we did not make it, but Dennis Onyango right up there with the very best.
In the World Cup qualifiers alone, this year he kept 3 clean sheets as Uganda made, of course, history, making the group stages of the World Cup. Again, one of those players that you can say is untouchable in his position, and for me, for the last 5 or so years, by far the best footballer in Uganda.
You run out of superlatives to describe the kind of season that Philip Wakorach has had. But for me, what stands out was the defense of the Africa Sevens. I was down in Legends. I watched the match against Zambia, where he scored a beauty of a try, literally broke the ankles of the Zambian sweeper before going and touching under the posts. He was named the MVP in that tournament. He did have a stinker in the final, but he had done enough in the previous matches, to cover himself in glory. So it's been a tremendous year for him.
Ugandan sport still struggles a lot with finding brands in terms of players that will bring the kind of attention that sport deserves. But if there is someone that we can use at this point in time, is Philip Wakorach. I've always argued that while we compare ourselves a lot to Kenya in terms of rugby, and the Collins Injeras and Humphrey Kayangas became household names for what they did on the HSBC World Sevens circuit, especially in the period between 2006 and 2009. None of them is as good on the eye as Philip Wakorach. Now you start there. When you watch him, whether you love rugby, whether you know the least about rugby, Philip Wakorach is the kind of person you want to watch play the game. It's the reason why, for those performances, teams in Kenya are clamoring for him. It's the reason he's been chosen on the best African team that has played tournaments in West Africa. It's the reason I think he's going to go places. in 2018. I envisage that if he goes into 2018 and does very well at the World Cup in the USA, he'll get a big sevens contract in one of the European